What's up guys, this is Alex here for Skate Warehouse, and today we're going to be doing a little tutorial on Shoe Goo and showing you how it holds up over the next couple weeks. Basically, Shoe Goo is an adhesive and sealant that's pretty commonly used among skateboarders to just basically get the most out of your shoes. Kind of goes on like a liquid but dries in like a harder rubber. Pretty all-purpose. Just about anything that goes wrong with the shoe you can kind of handle for at least a session or two. When you're young, you don't have a lot of money to buy shoes. You got to push them as far as you can. So I would almost make toe caps with Shoe Goo, just the whole side of the shoe.
What's up? This is Daniel. Usually I put Shoe Goo on shoes when they're like this old, maybe a little bit before this stage because there is already like a hole all the way through right here. So normally I would just use my finger to put the Shoe Goo on, but today we're going to be using ice, which won't cause a mess on your fingers and will apply the Shoe Goo more cleanly. So today I'm going to be using the clear Shoe Goo to repair these old Vans Authentics. So the area I'm going to put the most Shoe Goo on is this hole right here that has gone all the way through the canvas. This is where I would normally want to Shoe Goo it, and then right here we're kind of going through the canvas in this upper area. So first I'm just going to squeeze out a little bit onto the kickflip area like that. So now I'm just smoothing out the little dab of Shoe Goo into like the rest of the area where the hole would be. So then I'm just going to use a little bit of duct tape to put behind this bigger hole where the ollie area is. So that'll just keep the Shoe Goo from going through the shoe, gives it something to kind of bind onto, and it'll prevent it from making like an indent right there. Now I'm gonna move on to this last one. So I'm just squeezing out a little bit. You don't need too much on there because it'll flatten out nicely. And then just get your ice cube again, kind of smooth it out into the area. And I try to get it kind of like as close to being flush as I can. It's gonna stick out a little bit, but that's kind of my goal. As you can see, the clear Shoe Goo, once it's smoothed out with the ice, kind of blends into the shoe pretty good. And I haven't skated these shoes in a while, so I'm pretty hyped to get to skate these again.
Today we're going to be putting them on a new pair of shoes, these Blazers here. So basically just take off the cap. It's got a little puncture spot so you can get this open. Just press it on there. You're good to go. Basically, want to just take it. It's kind of good to wet your fingers. You don't even need that much. Take a little dab to start off with. Kind of go at the spots you want. Pretty thin coat. You can always go back and put more on. Don't need much. It goes a long ways. There's a nice little ollie spot. Some 180s. Especially when you're using the black Shoe Goo on the black shoes. Doesn't look that bad. Kind of just blends into it a little bit. We go all the way up here on the stitching too, just to keep that intact. I think that's about good for that spot. And we're gonna move on, get the rubber on the toe, just to keep all that from scraping away when we're doing flip tricks out there. You can even put it on the seam where it meets the suede, keep all that together. I'm gonna put just enough on so it's not all the way transparent, so where it's can't see the rubber on the other side from the actual shoe. It's more just preference, whatever you're into. So it is better to let them sit overnight, just to really let them set in. You know, you can kind of tell once it's a little less glossy and it hardens up a little bit, you can get away with skating them in the same day. So I'm gonna skate these shoes for the next couple weeks and we'll show you guys how Shoe Goo helps them hold up. So after skating the shoe the last couple weeks, as you can see, there's some pretty normal wear and tear, but you know, the Shoe Goo definitely protected a lot of it. There's no ollie rips or anything like that. There's just the normal wear and tear on the rubber. This part of the Shoe Goo pretty much came off, which I kind of expected, but it just gave it that extra protection and made it last that little extra length.
So the Shoe Goo held up pretty good over the past 2 weeks. A little bit came off on this larger area around the sides, but I reapplied to those areas and it held up good.
So I'm more of a non-toe cap guy myself, but when you put the Shoe Goo on the toes of the regular suede shoe, it kind of gives you that extra durability and grip you're looking for without the stiffness of the toe cap.
So I didn't really feel a difference in my flick with the Shoe Goo areas. It felt pretty similar to the canvas, so I didn't have to adjust my flick or anything.
Putting the Shoe Goo on before has made these hold up for the couple weeks I've skated them with none of those rips. So it definitely adds, you know, a week or so extra life onto your shoe before you start really ripping through it.
I think there's a little bit more life in this shoe. I'm gonna put a little bit more in this toe area and then I'm gonna skate them for probably at least a couple more sessions.
So Shoe Goo itself has a pretty long shelf life. I've had tubes last me over a year. As long as you keep the top sealed real well, it kind of dries out if you don't and makes it less maneuverable.
Skating a shoe like without the Shoe Goo, I probably would have skated this pair for about a month, but after applying the Shoe Goo a couple of times, I'd say I almost doubled the lifespan.
It'll pretty much keep going until you wear through the bottom of your shoes, or the actual structure of the shoe starts falling apart. But as far as kickflip rips and any flip trick rip, really, you can just keep repairing it with Shoe Goo. So whether you're looking to add some durability to your new shoes or repair some old ones, Shoe Goo works great. I definitely recommend it. I've been using it for years now, and you can pick yourself up some at skatewarehouse.com.